Clayton Schick caught himself another teener. What the heck kind of fish can snap your ice rod like this? And here's what really happened to that goldfish you flushed. We got that and more coming up right now in Target Walleye's Top 5 presented by Seafoam. Let's dive on in. Number 1. Clayton Schick has done it again. I think you'd be hard pressed to find anybody that catches more big fish, truly big fish, through the ice than Canadian wonder boy Clayton Schick. So when he says that he caught his new personal best walleye, you know it's gonna be absolutely massive. And apparently he's caught longer ones before, which is ridiculous. But this insanely girthy 31-incher went 13.6 pounds. And in typical Clayton Schick fashion, he had cameras rolling from all of the angles, including screen recording on his Humminbird Mega Live, so that you can actually see that fish come through suspended 10 to 15 feet off bottom, suspended roaming for ciscos, and wallop his 2.4-inch frostbite tantrum rattlebait. It was so cool to see that big blob slide in, and the hook set and the fight was on, and man, if you watch his full video on his YouTube channel, it was so intense with that thing at the bottom of the ice, not ready to give up, thrashing around. I could not believe it stayed pinned. I don't think he could either, but we're all glad that it did. Big congrats on the new personal best, Clayton. And you know what? I'm not going to put it past you to top that thing with a 14-pounder next.
It's an absolute giant!
Number 2. The Vosburg group got it done out of Borderview Lodge on Lake of the Woods. I mean, a 29.5-inch walleye is a truly special fish. But I have a feeling that that thing was a little bit overshadowed on that trip by the 60 inches of sturgeon. They somehow were able to pluck up an 8-inch ice hole. I have no idea how you get a 5-foot fish to turn perpendicular so you can even get it going in the right direction to get that head up, but they somehow did it. It wasn't without a little bit of collateral damage though. Look at that rod. That fish might have broke their rod, but at least this time it didn't break their hearts. Congrats. Number 3. Remember that goldfish your mom flushed when you were a kid? It wasn't actually dead, it was definitely faking it, because Levi Waldhauser just caught it fishing in the metro, Minnesota, down in the southern portion of the States. Can you even imagine fighting a fish not knowing if it's going to be a walleye, a northern, a bass, maybe a personal best crappie, and out comes a frickin' like 4-pound goldfish? I don't know what that thing's been eating, but clearly not those stinky little flakes. Number 4. I don't usually hear about too many big walleyes being caught through the ice in Wyoming, but I was pleasantly surprised when I was opening up Instagram, taking a little scroll skis, and I saw this one from Derelict Fishing, and yes, Wyoming. That's a giant anywhere, but Wyoming? What, like the trout and elk state, or I don't know what it's called? And he caught her out of what he called was like a little mud puddle, I'm assuming some sort of a trout slough, and he was using a live target golden shiner rattlebait, and it came through and absolutely obliterated it just 5 feet under the ice. I'm just surprised he was able to keep the trout away long enough to catch a walleye. Congrats, man, that's an incredible walleye anywhere across the ice belt, but in Wyoming, that's a friggin' unicorn. Number 5. Fishing YouTuber Alex Tim had himself a day, his first day on the ice this season, and he kicked it off in an incredible fashion, catching big crappies, big bluegills, and a bonus toothy critter.
Another one.
A 42-inch muskie that came through and inhaled his Acme mick-e tungsten jig, a tiny little panfish treat. He said that it took him an hour and a half to get that fish in. He was using just 4-pound test on a tuned-up Custom Rods Bullwhip'd, which a lot of folks say is the best panfish ice rod in the world. So obviously I had to pick up a couple for myself to try. It's a magical thing. That high-vis tip almost acts like a spring bobber. So of course you can see the bites when they bite down, but also the load in that tip when you get those up bites. You see how that lifts up like that from panfish feeding up? And the magical thing, soft noodle rod tip, but it goes into that. So that when you do cross paths with those toothy critters, whether it's a big walleye, pike, muskie, whatever, you actually have a shot to get it in. I don't recommend using it for muskies, but if you happen to hook into one, you actually have a fighting chance. And I think we need to wrap this thing up so that I can actually go do this on the ice instead of in front of a green screen. Anywho, congrats Alex, what a wild first day on the ice. It's all downhill from here. I mean, kidding, but not really. So that wraps up this week's top 5. A big shout out to Seafoam for keeping us running smooth, making this video series possible. Thank you so much to everybody who's watching and taking the time out of your day to comment. And if you want more walleye and ice fishing content like this, sign up for the free Target Walleye emails at targetwalleye.com, and I'll see you back in 7.